What is up, guys? Bobgar here, and it's time for another $10 deck in honor of the Angel top 10 list that me and my girlfriend Melissa released this weekend on the channel. We're looking at a $10 Modern Angel Reanimator list. This list is super spicy. It's a super neat combo. I don't think it's actually that competitive. I will play it through a league. I'm only going to post those videos if I go at least 2-3, because I think otherwise it'll be way too boring. But I'll make sure to put some gameplay up. Hopefully I'll be able to find some wins, at least in the practice lobby. And yeah, the deck is super cool, but probably not very competitive. It's super fun for like a kitchen table kind of deck. And I'm going to show you how it works. So let's start off with the combo. In graveyard or in play, you need Cartel, Aristocrat, Zulaport Cutthroat, and Fiend Hunter. And in the graveyard, I mean, these could technically come to play too, but it would cost way too much mana. So usually you're playing these out of the graveyard. You have Unburial, Rites, and Angel of Glory's Rise. Okay, so what happens? Well, once you cast Unburial Rites on Angel of Glory's Rise to reanimate it, you get all of those humans back. You get a Cartel, Aristocrat, Zulaport Cutthroat, and Fiend Hunter. They all come into play. Fiend Hunters come into play ability triggers. You get to exile a target permanent, and you will target Angel of Glory's Rise, exiling your own angel to him. Once that's done, you can sacrifice Fiend Hunter to Cartel Aristocrat. This gives you 1 life and takes 1 life away from your opponent because you had a creature die from Zulaport Cutthroat. And then when the Angel re-enters the battlefield, it will bring Fiend Hunter back from the graveyard to play. When it does, again, that ability will trigger and you can exile the Angel. You can sack Fiend Hunter again and repeat this process infinitely, doing 20 damage to your opponent or more if you need to do more. So that's the basics of the combo, and we're running 4 of each of these cards: 4 Cartel Aristocrat, Fiend Hunter, Zulaport Cutthroat, Angel of Glory Rise, and Unburial Rites. Then the other creatures in the deck. So we're running 4 Golgari Thugs. This guy is a dredge card that also is a human, so it will come back with the Angel. It's not the best dredger. We're also running 4 Stinkweed Imp, which is a slightly better dredger. It dredges 5, so these are just ways to dump things in our graveyard mostly. Stinkweed Imp is not a human. He's the only non-human creature in the deck, so we can't get him back with Angel, but he is pretty good as just a fair play, and he dumps things faster into our graveyard than anything else because of the dredge 5. Now we're running 4 Thalia's Lieutenant. This is a little bit of a weird one. We don't really need it, but it helps our deck play fair if our opponent shuts off our graveyard, because it makes all of our humans bigger. And our humans can be pretty good if they can get big. He obviously gets big himself. And it just gives us a way to use the reanimate combo even if our opponent manages to have single target removal to stop our infinite combo. Because if they kill our Fiend Hunter or Angel of Glory Rise, or if we only have 1 Zulaport Cutthroat and they kill that, then our infinite combo will be shut off. But if Thalia's Lieutenant came in with the Angel Reanimator trigger, we will have, put a +1/+1 counter on almost all our creatures, and our Thalia Lieutenant will have gotten +1/+1 for all of the humans that came in at the same time as him. So he'll often be pretty big, and our whole team will be pretty big, and it just gives us another avenue to win, so it makes the deck play slightly more fair. Then in addition to our creatures, we're running 8 cards to help us put things in our graveyard so that we can dredge them. Faithless Looting is great. We can play it for 1 and then play it again for 3. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Cathartic Reunion is also pretty good. As additional cost to play it, you discard 2 cards and you get to draw 3. So yeah, we're going to mostly be putting dredgers in our graveyard, hoping to draw to the lands that we need, but occasionally we'll really want to discard a couple of our combo pieces, like we have Angel of Glory's Rise or Unburial Rites in hand, just to ensure we hit them at the right time. After this, we move on to the lands. The land base is a little janky. If we up the budget, we could definitely make it better, but 4 Battlefield Forge and 4 Caves of Koilios. Those are just some of the best, relatively fast lands we can put in for cheap. They both are pain lands, so they do a damage to us whenever we tap them for colored mana, but it's worth it. And then we also run 3 Dakmor Salvage. This is a black land that has dredge too. It slows us down a little bit, but if we mill it and we desperately need a land, we can force ourselves to draw it. And then it also just has, some added value in the fact that it dredges, and sometimes we'll really want that ability. Alright, and then the basic lands, we're running 8 mountains and 1 plain. So we're running way more mountains than anything else. I think the total is 12 mountains, 9, well, not 12 mountains, but 12 red sources, 9 white sources, and 7 black sources. Even though we do have a lot of black cards, we do this because that's what's most important to our combo. We really want to hit our filter cards, which are our red cards, even though we don't have that many of them. If we don't hit our filter cards, we're probably not going to win the game. And then White, we need to have to cast the flip side of Unburial Rites. And black, yeah, we can cast some of the creatures with it, but for the most part, we're going to be hoping to just reanimate them with Unburial Rites, which really only needs the red and the white to dump the creatures and then reanimate them back. Alright, and then moving on to sideboard. 2 Bojuka Bogs. This takes out other people's graveyards while also being a black mana source for us, so you can just kind of slide those in over Dakmor Salvages or other things as you need to compete against Living End or Dredge. 2 Ghost Quarters help with Tron. It's a little hard for us because our mana is so wonky anyway, but in those matchups it's probably worth it. 2 Children of Corleos. This is an interesting one. It's a human, so it does get reanimated, and it's basically a fog. You can sacrifice it to gain back life that you've lost this turn. So yeah, basically a fog that we can use that is also human, so we can use it on both sides with Angel of Glory's Rise. 3 Duress, help pick apart our opponent's hand, especially help take out any graveyard hate they might have, like Relic of Progenitus or Rest in Peace or things like that. Fragmentize, also really to take out graveyard hate. Most graveyard hate is artifact or enchantment. Fragmentize is often better than Duress just because sometimes your opponent has Leyline of the Void in their opening hand, and you want a way to get rid of it quickly so that you can start your game plan. So it's good for that. And then 2 Lightning Bolt, mostly again in the aggro matchup similar to Children of Corleos. Sometimes they're just important threats. It can be good against mid-range decks too, especially if they're running things like Dark Confidant or other things that you just really want to take out before they become too threatening. So yeah, that's the sideboard. That's the pretty much the whole deck. Let's take a look at what it looks like. $10.50 online, about $70 in paper. Like I said, it's just all 4-ofs. Pretty straightforward. And then I wanted to look at our matchups before we go into a league with it. So I really don't want to go into a league with this one, but I will admit it's exciting. And if we happen to do well, it'll be super exciting. It'll be awesome. It'll make great content. But I think we're just going to lose. But I'm trying to do more leagues, trying to give these league things a shot, even if the deck isn't quite good enough for it. I think we're too slow against most burn decks. I think we're too slow against most creature decks. So those are 2 of the ones that the last deck that we ran was really good with. I think we're just... we don't go off till turn 4, and a lot of those decks will just win on turn 4. So on the play, we might have a chance if we get a good draw and can go off on turn 4, but sometimes the deck doesn't go off till turn 5, you know? And we might have a little bit of disruption by playing down 1 or 2 creatures that we can just chump block with, but we're not going to have that much. I will say at least it doesn't feel bad to chump block with our creatures because we're going to reanimate them right back with Angel, but still a little awkward, and often our deck just will lose to itself with bad draws. Control, we're not that scared of Supreme Verdict or Anger of the Gods, although I mean they're certainly not fun for us to play against, but they don't beat us on their own. I'm much more worried about hand disruption and counter spells. Single target creature kill can disrupt our infinite combo. If they have single target creature kill and those sweepers, it can be kind of bad because they can keep us from going infinite, and then we can go, well, yeah, but we have 10-10 Thalia's Lieutenant, and then they just sweep the board in the next turn, and we lose that way. So I don't think Control is a very good matchup, although I don't think it's the worst either. We're probably not fast enough against combo and big mana decks. I mean, we're a combo deck ourselves, and I just think we're slower than Ad Nauseam, probably slower than KCI, probably slower than Elves, probably slower than Storm. Like Storm usually is turn 4, often even turn 3. So it's theoretically possible we could win versus those matchups, but I mean it's very draw dependent. They have kind of potentially bad draws too that they just lose to themselves with, but I think it's more likely than not that we will lose to them. And against fair decks, that might be the one we have the best chance against, but a lot of them, especially ones that run Liliana of the Veil, run a bunch of hand disruption. I mean, it's not going to hurt us that much, obviously. We don't mind having that much stuff in our graveyard, but they're going to pick our filter cards and things like that, which we really do kind of need in our hand. So I'm a little worried about that. I don't think we have a good matchup against them, although it might be the best of the 5 kind of archetypes I'm listing out here. And obviously there's some other things. This doesn't encapsulate all decks out there. I think basically to win a match, which I think the deck definitely can do. I think to win a match we got to be pretty lucky. I would expect us to go maybe 0-5, somewhere between 0-5 and 1-4 is my expectation in a actual league with the deck. But yeah, I definitely have won games with it before, and I've definitely won matches with it before, so it's not like it can't win. It's just, it's a little bit too janky and cute to win, but I think it's one of my favorite decks just because it's so neat and interesting. So I'm going to run it through a league for you guys, and hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoyed the deck tech, even if this one isn't super competitive, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Hey guys, Bobgar here. I just really wanted to quickly say, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you enjoy my content in general and would like to see more of it, subscribe. I'll be coming out with more content in the future. And please leave me comments and let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, both in terms of production and in terms of my play and my deck building and all that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.